Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today here at Mad World Tarot. I have the Deviant Moon Tarot on the tarot table. For this reading we're looking at a rather dark and sinister topic now in the second reading. This claim that Harry made in that awful BBC interview after the results of the appeal came out. We heard that the appeal had been dismissed, the security case. He said, "Some people want history to repeat itself," which is pretty dark. And he seems to believe that there are people who were participating in that Ravik decision who actively want harm to come to him and his immediate family. Now, those people could include courtiers, who of course are representing members of the royal family, directly representing members of the royal family, and then of course bureaucrats, those kinds of people. We don't know exactly who sits on that committee, although Harry has named some names already, and he goes on to say that he's discovered all of this nefariousness in the disclosure process for this appeal. He tells us in that even worse, that it was worse than the interview, the BBC interview, the statement on the Sussex website. He said, "Uncovering how my immediate family's safety was knowingly put at risk, as well as who was behind it and who sanctioned it, has been truly devastating." So he claims he knows who was behind it, who sanctioned it, been truly devastating. But in this BBC interview, he says he's not going to name names, not yet. And I'm quoting again, he says, "I'm not going to share at this point. I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process." So in other words, he's happy to let a cloud of suspicion hang over courtiers, possibly members of the royal family, possibly government officials, ministers, whatever, just like he and Meghan allowed a cloud of suspicion to hang over members of the royal family accused of racism in the Oprah interview. And we know how that went. We know that, oops, mistake, wrong edition sent, or wrong version sent to Dutch translators, and the King and the Princess of Wales found themselves named directly as the racists who had been so cruel about Archie's skin colour, allegedly. So it's likely, in my opinion, that Harry is planning on doing a big reveal at some stage, naming names. He's threatening in this BBC interview. So we're going to have a look at all of this with the Deviant Moon Tarot. We have to remind you, it is just tarot, and it is just for fun and entertainment, and it is all my opinion, and it is all speculation, and there's a big giant allegedly over this reading, and I am just reading energy, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it, please do your own research, please form your own conclusions about this story and all stories that I read on this channel. We're going to have a look at Harry's level of paranoia right now. What does he actually think is going to happen? How much are drugs? Past or possibly present, we don't know for sure. I want to know what might be feeding this paranoia. Could it be drugs? Could it be things whispered in his ear by Diana too, back in Montecito? We know that he's absolutely paranoid that what happened to Mummy Diana might happen to Meghan. We're going to ask who he's indirectly accusing here in terms of royal family members. The only two that I can look at really realistically are the King and Prince William, and so we're going to check that energy. We're going to ask if he is ever going to go directly and name names in, say, a spare two. And is there any possibility, and this is a very dark question, is there any possibility of something dark and dangerous happening to either him or any of his family. He seems so obsessed with it. That's a very dark question. There he is as our underlying energy. And as I say, again, this is just tarot and this is all allegedly, and we're just reading energy. We're looking at energy. We're looking at energy potentials in this reading. Our King of Pentacles, that's Harry's energy. He showed up as King of Pentacles yesterday when I was reading on the immediate aftermath of that court decision, the appeal decision. King of Pentacles, still very entitled, still very, I'm a member of the British royal family, I'm the son of a king, I deserve everything, you must all bow down before me and give me what I believe is mine by some form of divine right. There he is, King of Pentacles. That's Harry, Earth sign king. Not a king, but very high status. He views himself as high status. Something else about the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the husband of the tarot. And so he is operating now as somebody who's very concerned about his wife and his children's well-being and their safety, and he's basically accusing this committee and the royals of it will be on their heads if something bad happens to any members of his family. But of course, as the head of the household in old school style, it's on him. He is the one who is responsible for the safety and security of his family. Sorry, and we still have the little Jack Russell with us today. And anyway, let's move on to the actual reading. Underlying energy. And the underlying, not the underlying energy, the heart of this reading. What are we looking at as the central issue? And we're looking at failure and loss. The Six of Wands in reverse. That is his failure to achieve his aims, which is to get taxpayer-funded security, not just in the UK, but in the United States and every country that Harry and Meghan visit from now on and forevermore. So if they go to Portugal, it will be on the Portuguese government's head to give them 24-hour armed security and rolling motorcades and all the rest of it, flashing lights and magic briefcases like they had in Colombia. They wanted their IPP status back, haven't got it. Six of Wands in reverse. Big, giant failure. He wanted that triumphal return, which is also in the Six of Wands. He wanted to be able to strut his stuff in the UK, I'm sure with herself by his side. And look at me, I'm so important. I'm King of Pentacles, but no, you're not. You didn't get what you wanted, and now you can't just come back anytime you feel like it and swagger about. With all of this security around you like some sort of tin pot dictator. That is my opinion, of course. So let's have a look at his level of paranoia. Some people are saying he really has lost the plot completely at this point. They've also been saying that about Meghan in recent times. So let's see his kind of level of cray-cray at the moment. And we've got the Seven of Wands in reverse. He truly is... He feels incredibly vulnerable. Seven of Wands in reverse. That's the card when it's upright of being in a defensive position, being under attack, but being able to stand your ground, very basically. Being right about something too. It can be the Seven of Wands. It's in reverse now. He feels vulnerable, exposed, wherever he goes. I think he is that paranoid. Cressida Bonas told us about it, or told the press, or told someone about it, how he literally saw things that weren't there when they were out and about in public. Photographers hiding in bushes where there were no photographers, people following them when there was no one following them. He's very, very paranoid. He's very invested in this story. He really honestly believes that he's in danger, and not only he is in danger, but also Meghan and the children. He's told us that acid attacks and all kinds of crazy stories that he believes, things that could actually happen to them if they ever went back to the UK. Never mind the terrible things that happened in Colombia, Nigeria, Jamaica, where else has he been recently? South Africa. But never mind any of that. So he genuinely feels very vulnerable. And then I want to know what he actually thinks might happen. What dark and dreadful things does he think are going to happen to him or his immediate family? And we've got the High Priestess. Now, this is an interesting card because it has a level of conspiracy theory in it. It's got a chessboard. It's a bit occultish. It's secret societies, the High Priestess. It's people operating in the shadows who can't be found out, but might kind of command something to happen from those shadowy places. I'm getting sort of sinister agencies, government agencies, operatives. I don't think he's very clear about who precisely, because he seems to have bought into any number of conspiracy theories. And there is always that rumor, and we have to say it was a rumor, that he went and spent time with Muhammad al-Fayed before he passed away and listened to all his conspiracy theories. And we know he had a whole bunch of conspiracy theories about what happened to Diana and Dodi that night in Paris. It's all sitting there. I think he really has gone very far down the conspiracy path when it comes to his mother and what happened to her. And never forget that the High Priestess often has a kind of Diana energy, speaking from the spirit world through the agency of Madame in Montecito and all of that. And I hate to say this, I hate to even give it air, but it is what's coming through. And I'm doing an energy reading, and it is just tarot, and it is just my opinion, but this is the energy, this is the message, the story that's coming through the cards for me today, unfortunately. So I'm now going to ask some tricky questions. I'm going to ask how much Harry's drug use over the decades has to do with this level of paranoia, first of all. And I've got the Knight of Pentacles. That's Harry's energy. And the Knight of Pentacles is actually very stable, theoretically, in tarot. Very grounded, very reliable and predictable, and showing up when you expect them to, and steadily progressing and going forward and getting to whatever their goal is supposed to be. So I'm not seeing that drugs are so involved. If I had it in reverse, I would say, yeah, he's smoked too much of this, he's done too many mushrooms, he's been on too many journeys of whatever, and he's got, he's not really that grounded in reality. But the Knight of Pentacles is grounded in reality. We do have that moon, though. And the moon is Mummy Diana energy. And we've seen this moon all over the place because we're in the Deviant Moon Tarot. So it's there in this vulnerable energy, that moon in the Seven of Wands. So we're going to note the moon that's showing up. And so there is the moon. And he might have on these journeys and through these altered consciousness experiences, he might have become quite obsessed with the notion that he has to put right wrongs that happened in the past and all of this stuff. And that would be this determination that the Knight of Pentacles exhibits, that nothing is going to get in their way. They're just going to keep moving steadily forward to their goal. And their goal might be to avenge Mummy Diana in this case. Again, I'm reading energy, I'm expressing an opinion, and this is all allegedly. Let's look at Madame in Montecito and how influential she is in this very clear level of paranoia that we have in the Seven of Wands on this tarot table at an energetic level anyway. Madame's influence. And we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. And it's interesting how it's depicted because it's about wish fulfillment, the Nine of Cups, and it's a genie that's come out of that cup. There is the moon, and it's wish fulfillment. It's in reverse. It's very unfulfilled energy when the Nine of Cups is in reverse. It's very, it's giving a strong sense of grievance, of kind of a spoilt energy, an indulgent energy, but feeling aggrieved about something, feeling that you didn't get what you wanted. Now, I've been talking High Priestess and the sort of the hidden influences and the channeling and the communication with the spirit world. There it is. In that Nine of Cups in reverse, where I'm talking about Meghan's direct influence on Harry and his perspective about their safety and security and what dark things might happen to them. And we've got this kind of spirit energy that's coming through to communicate and to tell and to reveal, that's coming from a place of grievance and discontent. And I think for both of them, sorry for the snoring, it's either coughing or snoring at the moment. He's tucked up nicely in his little bed now. It's a rather cold late afternoon here, but he is sleeping nicely at the moment, so that's all good at 16 years old. So I think we understand the energy that's going on in that card. So let's move on to, who is Harry really accusing? Who's he insinuating might be behind this? He said, who was behind this, knowingly putting himself and his family safety at risk? Who was behind it and who sanctioned it? So we're going to look at the King and Prince William in this column. Of course, he might be talking about someone else, but I want to see what energy shows up. The King first. Is Harry accusing the King? Oh yeah, Knight of Swords, absolutely. The Knight of Swords is a very vicious energy. It's very strategic. It's very calculating. It's cold and indifferent and just does what it wants to do. It's attacking energy. It's a very much an attack card for me. So I do think that he is surreptitiously pointing the finger of blame at his father. And I'm sure that at some level he believes that his father was involved in the untimely death of his mother. I'm going to have to say that there is someone else that would show up as a Knight of Swords in here, who is always accused in the rumour world, the tinfoil hat world, the conspiracy world. That would be Prince Philip. That would be a Knight of Swords as well. Just saying, air sign, Gemini. There he is. So possibly Harry believes some kind of kooky conspiracy that the two of them got together and decreed that this might be a useful thing to happen. And I hate saying it again, and please believe me when I say that I don't believe this at all, this conspiracy theory. I don't believe it, not even remotely. And I'm just speculating based on the cards that are showing up on this table as to what Harry might be insinuating with this. I am not going to share at this point. I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process, who was behind the decision, who sanctioned it, and that it was truly devastating. There is potential in that Knight of Swords. How about Prince William? Does he blame Prince William for any of this? And I've got the Hierophant in reverse. This is a huge card, bigger than that. Hierophant is king in waiting when it's in reverse, delayed activation of energy. It's very much king. It's the royal, the monarch, the Hierophant. And this is, because it's Taurus energy, the Hierophant, major arcana for Taurus. Taurus has a bit of a reputation because it's the bull. So you can add a Y to that bull and get a bully. And we know that he has accused Prince William directly of bullying himself and Meghan out of the royal family because Prince William allegedly felt so threatened by their popularity, their success, Meghan's ravishing beauty and her resemblance to Mummy Diana that William couldn't deal with, and Catherine was so threatened because Catherine was so mediocre and so lazy and all the rest of it, that William bullied them out of the royal family. I'm just repeating what Harry seems to believe, or what he has claimed, or people around him have claimed. Hierophant in reverse tells me all of that. It brings all of that energy back onto the tarot table. We've got who who was behind it, and who sanctioned it. So there's two different actions possible in here. Who was behind it, who sanctioned it. And that is more of a strategic energy. This is more of a sanctioning energy, the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is the one who lays down the law, who says these are the rules. This is how it's going to happen. So I think he's implicating both. And again, this is my opinion. This is an energy reading. This is pure speculation based on tarot cards. So let's see if Harry's ever going to name names, like what happened with Endgame and Omen Scobian. Oops, sorry, we sent the wrong file to the translator. Is this ever going to be appearing in volume 2 of Spare? I have the King of Wands in reverse. It may well. Harry very often shows up as King of Wands, red-headed king. Prince William also more and more shows up as King of Wands. If the King of Wands is in reverse, for me it's alluding to both of them. Harry in his angry, misdirected, volatile energy as King of Wands in reverse. William in going to be the King of Wands, very dynamic, forward thinking, getting everyone rallying around him, very popular, very creative, visionary, but in reverse, taking him down, trying, from tantrum, from begrudgment, resentment, for the sake of drama and viciousness, it's possible. So we're going to say this is hypothetical energy in this reading, and we're going to say, hypothetically speaking, it is possible that we could get volume 2 of Spare with those extra 400 pages and some quite wild allegations in there that would be attempting, I personally suspect, to harm Prince William's reign as king. And finally, Harry seems to think that dark things are desired for himself and his family. There are people out there who want very bad things to happen, same old bad things that happened to his mother. Hypothetically speaking, again, any possibility of any of them having some sort of accident. And now I need to make this very clear. I don't mean the kind of accident that Harry believes happened to his mother in that tunnel. I'm talking just about an accident. Accidents happen all the time. I don't mean conspiracy theory kind of accident. I just mean some misfortune befalling any of them. Is his level of paranoia sort of because he's dialing in to something that's in the energy potential for one of them, possibly coming to some sort of harm? It's got very dark as I've asked this question. I've got the 3 of Pentacles, which is a teamwork and collaboration card. That's not a dark energy. There's not a dark energy at all. But I just need to point something out. So I'm not getting a Tower or a Death or a 10 of Swords or any of the potentially awful cards that are in tarot. Just to make that very clear. The only thing that's kind of resonating for me off this 3 of Pentacles is that there are only 3 people in it. There's parents, mother and father, and 1 child, not 2. So I think I've said enough about that card. I'm not going to go any further with it. That is the reading. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.